Keanu Reeves lost his best friend, his baby, and the love of his life. Most people would have given up. But Keanu did something incredible instead. In an emotional speech, he revealed the secret that helped him survive unimaginable grief. His words touched hearts and changed lives. What did Keanu say that made such a powerful impact? Watch and prepare to be moved. As Keanu continued his speech, the atmosphere in the room shifted. The audience leaned forward, sensing that something profound was about to be shared. Keanu's eyes filled with tears as he uttered a name that seemed to carry the weight of 1,000 memories. River Phoenix. The mere mention of River's name sent a ripple through the crowd. Keanu and River's friendship was a bond forged in the crucible of young stardom, two bright lights in the often dark world of show business. Keanu's voice trembled as he described the moment he heard the news of River's death on October 31st, 1993. "It was like the world stopped spinning," he said, his words barely above a whisper. "I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't believe it was real." He shared a never-before-told memory of River from the set of My Own Private Idaho. "River told me he wanted to change the world," Keanu revealed, his voice cracking with emotion. "He had this fire in his eyes, this determination. He believed in the power of art to make a difference." Keanu paused, gathering himself before continuing. He admitted that River's death had profoundly affected his view on mortality. "I realized how fragile life is," he said, his eyes scanning the room. "How quickly it can all be taken away. It made me question everything." The crowd gasped as Keanu shared his biggest regret about their friendship. "I wish I had told him," he began, then stopped, overcome with emotion. The silence in the room was deafening as everyone waited for him to continue. "I wish I had told him how much he meant to me," Keanu finally said, his voice filled with a mixture of sorrow and love. "I wish I had told him that he was already changing the world just by being who he was, that his kindness, his passion, his talent, they were making a difference every single day." As Keanu spoke these words, it was as if he was speaking directly to River, transcending time and space to deliver a message long overdue. Many in the audience wiped away tears, witnessing this raw, unfiltered moment of grief and love. Keanu went on to share how losing River had fundamentally changed his approach to friendship. "After River died, I promised myself I would never take my friends for granted again," he said. "I learned to tell people how much they mean to me while I still can, to cherish every moment, every conversation, every shared laugh." River's influence on Keanu was like a guiding star, illuminating the path forward even in the darkest moments. How does one carry the weight of such a profound loss while still moving forward? Keanu's words resonated deeply, reminding everyone of the precious, fleeting nature of life and relationships. As he concluded this part of his speech, Keanu's voice grew stronger, filled with a quiet determination. "River taught me so much in life," he said, "but his death taught me even more. It taught me to live fully, to love openly, and to never ever take a single day for granted." The room fell silent as Keanu's voice trembled, barely above a whisper. "My daughter Ava," he said, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. The audience held their breath, sensing they were about to witness a moment of raw vulnerability few had ever seen from the Hollywood star. Keanu took a deep breath, steadying himself before continuing. "Jennifer and I were so excited," he said, a bittersweet smile playing on his lips. "We were ready to welcome our little girl into our world. But fate had other plans. In the final month of pregnancy, Keanu and Jennifer received devastating news. The doctor's words still echo in my mind," Keanu shared, his voice barely audible. There was no heartbeat. The actor described the agonizing moments that followed in the hospital. "Time seemed to stand still," he said, his eyes distant as if reliving the memory. "Jennifer and I held each other, trying to make sense of a world that suddenly felt so cruel and unfair." Keanu paused, visibly struggling with his emotions. After a moment, he continued, revealing a private ritual he had never before shared publicly. "Every year on Ava's birthday, I go to a quiet spot overlooking the ocean," Keanu confessed. "I bring a small cupcake with a single candle. As I watch the sun set, I sing happy birthday to my little girl and make a wish for her." The revelation left many in the audience openly weeping. Keanu's vulnerability was palpable, his pain still raw even after all these years. "My deepest fear after losing Ava," Keanu admitted, his voice cracking, "was that I would forget her. That as time passed, the memory of the daughter I never got to hold would fade away." He spoke about the strain the loss put on his relationship with Jennifer. We were both drowning in our grief, Keanu said. We tried to support each other, but sometimes it felt like we were pulling each other under instead. The audience leaned forward, hanging on every word, as Keanu began to address how this unimaginable loss had shaped his view on fatherhood. Losing Ava changed everything, he said, his voice growing stronger. It made me realize that being a father isn't just about having a child. It's about carrying that love in your heart, always. Keanu then delivered a powerful message to other parents who have experienced similar losses. Your child, no matter how brief their time with you, has left an indelible mark on this world, he said, his eyes scanning the room. They exist in the love you carry, in the dreams you had for them, in the way they've shaped your heart. Don't ever let anyone diminish that. As Keanu's speech neared its conclusion, the audience sensed a shift in his demeanor. There was a quiet strength in his voice, a resilience born from the depths of his grief. In my darkest moments, Keanu revealed, I found an unexpected source of strength. It wasn't in trying to move on or forget. It was in honoring Ava's memory by living a life that would have made her proud. He paused, a small smile playing on his lips. I realized that every act of kindness, every moment of joy, every time I reached out to help someone in need, these were all ways of keeping Ava's spirit alive. She may not be here physically, but her impact on this world continues through me. Keanu's words about Ava's lasting impact hung in the air, a bittersweet moment of hope. But the actor's eyes suddenly clouded over. His voice dropped to a whisper. And then, I lost Jennifer too. The audience held their breath, hearts aching for the man who stood before them. They had witnessed Keanu's journey through unimaginable loss, but it seemed fate had one more cruel twist in store. Keanu took a shaky breath. After Ava, Jennifer and I found solace in each other. We were two broken souls clinging to the pieces of our shattered dreams. But together, we started to heal. He painted a picture of quiet moments shared, of laughter slowly returning to their lives. It was like watching a delicate flower bloom in the cracks of a sidewalk, fragile, yet determined to grow. April 2nd, 2001, Keanu said, the date etched into his memory. That's when everything changed again. He described the ordinary morning that turned into a nightmare, the phone call, the rush to the hospital, the devastating news that Jennifer had been in a car accident. Keanu's voice cracked as he recounted those frantic hours. I kept thinking, this can't be happening, not again. Then, unexpectedly, a small smile tugged at Keanu's lips. I want to share something about Jennifer, he said softly. Something I've never told anyone before. It was just a few days before the accident, Keanu began. We were sitting on the beach watching the sunset. Jennifer turned to me and said, Keanu, promise me something. Promise me that no matter what happens, you'll always find reasons to smile. Tears glistened in Keanu's eyes. I didn't know then how important that promise would become. But in the darkest days that followed, I held on to those words like a lifeline. The actor's vulnerability touched everyone in the room. Many wiped away tears of their own, moved by the depth of love and loss in Keanu's story. Keanu went on to describe their last conversation, a memory he treasured. We talked about the future, he said, his voice soft with nostalgia, about healing, about hope. Jennifer had this way of making you believe anything was possible. Taking a deep breath, Keanu revealed, my biggest regret, that I didn't tell her often enough how much she meant to me, how her strength inspired me, how her love kept me going when I thought I couldn't take another step. Jennifer taught me that love doesn't end with loss, Keanu said, his voice growing stronger. She showed me that it's possible to carry someone in your heart forever, that their impact on your life doesn't disappear when they're gone. Losing Jennifer changed everything, Keanu continued. It made me question if I could ever open my heart again. The pain was so intense I thought it might break me completely. But then his expression shifted, a quiet determination replacing the sorrow. Yet here's what I've learned, he said. Love is always worth the risk. Even knowing how it could end, I wouldn't trade a single moment with Jennifer. She made me a better person, a kinder person, and that's something I carry with me every day. Keanu's words resonated deeply with everyone in the room. His journey through loss had led him to a profound understanding of love's enduring power. Keanu's words resonated deeply with everyone in the room. His journey through loss had led him to a profound understanding of love's enduring power. But as he continued speaking, it became clear that another life-changing realization awaited. The actor's voice grew stronger, hinting at an inner transformation that would reshape his entire perspective on loss and resilience. "I had to find a reason to keep going," Keanu said, his voice filled with determination. After facing such immense heartbreak, Keanu stood at a crossroads. Where does one find hope when it seems all light has faded? Keanu admitted that there were moments when he questioned if he could go on. The weight of his losses felt overwhelming, threatening to crush his spirit. But it was in this darkest hour that Keanu discovered an unexpected glimmer of hope. "I found solace in the most unlikely of places," Keanu revealed. "It was in the quiet moments between takes on set, in the smiles of strangers on the street." These small, everyday miracles became anchors for Keanu, reminding him that beauty still existed in the world. The actor then shared a daily practice that helped him process his grief. Every morning, Keanu would write 3 things he was grateful for, no matter how small. Some days, it was as simple as feeling the warmth of the sun on my face or hearing a child's laughter, he explained. Other days, it was remembering a cherished moment with those I'd lost. As Keanu spoke about this simple yet powerful ritual, you could see the transformation it had brought about. The practice hadn't erased his pain, but it had given him a new lens through which to view the world. It was a daily reminder that even in the depths of sorrow, there was still goodness to be found. Keanu described his turning point. It came unexpectedly during a chance encounter with a fan who shared their own story of loss. "In that moment, I realized that my pain could be a bridge to connect with others," Keanu said, his voice filled with emotion. "I wasn't alone in my grief, and neither were they." This realization sparked a renewed sense of purpose in Keanu. He began to see his work and his charitable efforts in a new light. Each role he took on, each donation he made, became an opportunity to honor the memory of those he'd lost and to make a positive impact on the world. "I started to ask myself, how can I use my experiences to help others?" Keanu shared. This question became a guiding light, leading him to support various charities focused on grief counseling and children's hospitals. Through these efforts, Keanu found a way to channel his pain into something beautiful and meaningful. Keanu's voice grew stronger as he said, "I learned that true strength isn't about being invulnerable. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to share our pain and our hope with others." This powerful message about finding strength in vulnerability filled the room. Keanu explained how opening up about his losses had not only helped him heal, but it also created connections with others who were struggling. "By sharing our stories, we give others permission to do the same," he said. "And in that sharing, we find healing and hope." Keanu's perspective on life had undergone a profound transformation after facing so much loss. He no longer took a single moment for granted, understanding the preciousness of each breath, each interaction, each opportunity to make a difference. "Loss taught me that life is fleeting," Keanu said, his voice filled with a mix of sadness and wonder. "But it also showed me the incredible resilience of the human spirit. We have the capacity to endure, to heal, and to find joy again, even in the face of unimaginable pain." As Keanu continued his speech, a spark ignited in his eyes. The audience leaned in, sensing a shift in his demeanor. "I realized I could use my pain to help others," he said, his voice filled with newfound purpose. This moment marked a turning point in Keanu's journey, one that would transform his suffering into a powerful force for good. Keanu felt a deep calling to make his experiences meaningful, but the path ahead wasn't easy. Opening up about his losses meant reliving those painful moments. He hesitated, wondering if he was ready to bare his soul to the world. But something inside him pushed him forward, whispering that his story could be the light someone else needed in their darkest hour. With a deep breath, Keanu shared a story that changed everything. "One night I saw a homeless man outside a cafe. Something in his eyes reminded me of my own pain," Keanu said, his voice soft. "I bought him a meal and sat with him. As we talked, I realized it wasn't about the food. It was about making him feel seen, heard, and valued." The audience nodded, many wiping away tears as they connected with the simple yet profound impact of human connection. This experience led Keanu to adopt a personal mantra. "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about." He explained how this philosophy had transformed his interactions with others, from fans to colleagues to strangers on the street. "Every smile, every kind word, every moment of genuine attention, it all matters," he said, his eyes scanning the room. "You never know when you might be the one person who makes someone feel less alone." Keanu's voice cracked with emotion as he spoke about his work in children's hospitals. He described painting murals on hospital walls, reading stories to young patients, and organizing movie screenings for kids who couldn't leave their beds. These children, facing challenges no one should have to face, taught me more about courage and joy than I could ever teach them, Keanu said. The actor explained how these experiences helped him heal. There's a unique bond that forms when you share your pain with someone who truly understands, he said. It's like finding a lighthouse in the storm of grief. Keanu's eyes lit up as he recounted a life-changing encounter. After a long day of filming, a young woman approached me, he began. She was shaking, clearly nervous, but there was something in her eyes that made me stop. The woman shared that she had lost her brother to cancer the year before. She explained how Keanu's openness about his own losses had helped her through her darkest days. In that moment, I realized the true power of vulnerability, Keanu said, his voice filled with awe. By sharing our pain, we create a bridge for others to cross. We remind each other that we're not alone in our struggles. This encounter marked a profound shift in Keanu's approach to fame and fortune. He began to see his platform not as a spotlight for personal gain, but as a megaphone for compassion. Success isn't about how much money you make or how many awards you win, Keanu declared, his voice strong and clear. It's about the lives you touch, the hearts you heal, and the love you spread. Keanu's eyes scanned the room, meeting the gaze of audience members who were visibly moved by his words. His journey had come full circle. The pain that once threatened to consume him had become the fuel for a life dedicated to kindness and compassion. Keanu's gaze swept across the room, and a hush fell over the audience. They sensed something powerful building. The actor's journey had taken him through the depths of despair, but now his eyes shone with fierce determination. He was about to share a message that would leave everyone breathless. Your darkest moments don't define you, Keanu's voice rang out, filled with conviction. I've been to the bottom of the abyss, and I'm here to tell you that there's always a way back up. Keanu reflected on his long journey from his lowest point to where he stood now. He admitted that even after all these years, grief could still feel overwhelming. But he had found ways to cope, to honor his loved ones, and to keep moving forward. On those difficult days, Keanu shared, his voice softening, I remember something River once told me. Keanu, we're all just walking each other home. These words give me strength when I need it most. The audience listened intently as Keanu revealed how he honors the memories of those he's lost. Every act of kindness, every moment of compassion, that's how I keep their spirit alive, he explained. It's not about grand gestures. It's the small things that ripple outward and change the world. Keanu's eyes sparkled as he described his vision for a kinder world. Imagine if we all committed to one act of kindness each day, he mused. That's over 7 billion acts of kindness every single day. We could transform the world in ways we can't even imagine. His tone grew serious as he spoke about mental health. There's no shame in asking for help, Keanu emphasized. It's one of the bravest things you can do. We all need support sometimes, and reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. As Keanu's speech neared its end, anticipation built. What final wisdom did he want to impart? Life will knock you down, Keanu said, his voice strong and clear. That's a guarantee, but here's the secret. You don't have to get up alone. Reach out, connect, be there for others, and let others be there for you. That's how we heal. That's how we grow stronger. Keanu paused, letting his words sink in. Then, with a smile that lit up the room, he delivered his powerful call to action. When you leave here today, find someone who needs kindness. It could be a friend, a stranger, or even yourself. Do something, no matter how small, to make their day brighter. Then do it again tomorrow and the next day. That's how we change the world, one act of kindness at a time. As Keanu finished speaking, tears welled up in his eyes. They weren't tears of sadness. For the first time in a long time, he felt a profound sense of peace. He looked out at the audience, saw the impact his words had made, and realized that by sharing his pain, he had created something beautiful. As Keanu's speech concluded, the room fell silent. His final words echoed, "We're all battling something, but in our darkest moments, we find our greatest light." A heartbeat passed. Then, like a tidal wave, the audience erupted in applause, rising to their feet with tears streaming. Keanu's journey from despair to resilience had touched every soul present. His story wasn't just personal, it was a beacon of hope for all. As the applause faded, A subtle change filled the air. Each person stood a little taller, their eyes a little brighter, ready to carry Keanu's message of light into the world beyond.